Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I thank you for convening this extraordinary meeting of the Governing Council. I take this opportunity to once again convey my gratitude to you, Mr. Secretary General Garrett, dear Thomas, and also to the Secretariat for your constant support and engagement in the benefit of our community. My gratitude also goes to the distinguished members of the Governing Council who are actively involved in the activity of our community, as well as for the prompt response to the meeting today. Ladies and gentlemen, to my regrets, this extraordinary meeting takes place under very specific circumstances. Once again, we have seen that, especially under the pandemic conditions, but not only within these circumstances, the very core of the democracy is under siege. As I have stated many times, including during our most recent meeting of the Governing Council. To this, we should react and respond swiftly and firmly in order to protect and promote our community of values and the very core of the principles enshrined in the Warsaw Declaration. For proving that democracies prevail, another topic discussed at our last meeting, we must act proactively for avoiding democratic backsliding, while we should equally react promptly when the fundamentals of democracy are threatened. The situation in the Republic of Mali, a founding member of our community and a member of the Governing Council, is deeply concerning and calls for urgent consideration in the context of the most recent democratic setbacks. As the report of our Secretary General shows, the interim President and Prime Minister, as well as other officials, were detained by the military and had to resign their offices. I am convinced, and I hope we all agree, that this second coup within the coup, which took place in May 2021, has further distanced the country's rulers from the Warsaw Declaration democratic principles, to which the Republic of Mali committed when renewing its membership of the Governing Council in 2018. Allow me to briefly remind you some of the reactions of the international community so far. The UN Security Council has adopted soon after the May events a unanimous declaration condemning the arrest of transitional civilian authorities. The political situation in the country has determined ECOWAS to reinstate on the 30th of May Mali's membership suspension, while on the 1st of June the African Union also suspended Mali's participation in its bodies. There are, of course, further examples of the strong stance the international community took on this dossier, including the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie and the European Union, which firmly condemned the coup d'etat in Mali. In this context, I welcome the swift statement issued by the Secretary General Garrett, as well as the subsequent update report regarding the situation in Mali. Moreover, it is very important that the Secretariat kept a close contact with the Malian civil society experts in order to better understand the complexity of the situation. The engagement of civil society in times of crisis is a proof of democratic resilience. Distinguished participants, we were recently made aware of further developments on the ground, namely the fact that on the 7th of June, Colonel Goita was sworn in as the transition president. Although the new president has pledged that elections will still take place in February 2022, we must remain cautious, and at the same time, we should not let this second coup remain without a response from our community. As a firm promoter of the intrinsic link between human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, Romania believes it is our duty to react on the defense of these principles. As we must be strong within our community in order to be able to promote and defend our values abroad, we find that the recommendation of the Secretary General Garrett, namely the suspension of Mali's membership in the Governing Council pending the organization of free and fair elections, or until decisive steps forward on the democratic path are being made, is at this point the right path. We have all agreed in our Bucharest Declaration, adopted at the anniversary of 2 decades of existence of the community, that, I quote, crises may require extraordinary measures. Nevertheless, in democracies, these measures must be compatible with the respect of human rights, the rule of law, and the Constitution, end of quote. The situation we are discussing today requires an extraordinary measure in order to defend our democratic values within as a community and in the name of respect of human rights, rule of law, and the Constitution. In the same declaration, we also stated that, I quote again, it is essential that democracies lead by example and act in strict conformity with their human rights obligations. End of quote. It is my belief that this is a case when the community of democracies should and can do so. Thus, we believe that the swift and firm decision of the Governing Council will strengthen the credibility of the community and will also benefit the Malian people. They deserve to be able to forge their own future, which is only possible in a functional democracy. To reaffirm our commitment to stand with the Malian people in their path to their rightful democratic rights and liberties. Thus, we will also join efforts by the international community to support the return to constitutional order of the Republic of Mali and the reinstatement of legitimate civilian authorities. I therefore encourage you all to take a stance as a matter of urgency before military control becomes irreversible. I thank you for your attention and look forward to hearing views on this matter.